Hi, Carmen, Julia, and Chef. Just a quick overview of how this works. Um, so I've gone into opening. Actually, I'm going to back out of here so I can show you guys how to get into the actual assignment. So bear with me for just a moment. When you go into your dashboard and you get into NTR 445, these to-dos should pop up for you. And you're going to go into the portfolio, and you'll notice because they're submitted by group, it's only going to populate the group name and it's breakfast or lunch and then the group number. So this takes you into the speed grader. What I need Carmen and Julia for you guys to do is for you to grade all of the summaries and if they don't have an additional documentation on here, which it doesn't look like they do, for the executive summary or the final summary. It looks like here, since it's 16 pages, they probably combined everything. You'll want to click on View Rubric. I'm going to scooch this over a little bit so you can see it. And you guys are going to go in and grade under Service and Meal Type, Menu Development. You can look under the longer description here if you just want to click on it to see what the description, the criteria would be. So for this one, it's provide a brief summary on your group's rationale and decision for service and meal type, state the health claim, make sure they have some sort of citation. They need a minimum of one, some sort of peer review research article. They can't use a consumer magazine like Health or People Magazine or anything like that. So just make sure it's a reputable source and that they cited it using either APA or MLA. If they have more than one, that's fine. Okay, so you're going to review all of the narratives for service and meal type menu development. I'll also have you guys do the menu. Sometimes they'll include it in their narratives. Sometimes they won't. They may have a separate document for their menu. It looks like these guys included it here. So you just want to make sure the menu that they've submitted meets all of the criteria that we require. Their list of items, their price, obviously all of their nutrition fact information. Okay, you guys are probably intimately familiar with what's required on the menu at this point. Consultation with chef. This is as long as they have it, I'll have you guys ensure or grade for this one. Okay, they can either upload a picture if they did it by hand, or like these guys did, they included it all in the narrative documents, which is great. So you'll be able to provide points here. Essentially in this section, as long as it's completed, they've provided the template form. They don't need an additional narrative for this, okay? If they didn't complete or provide the actual template, they need to provide a narrative of what they talked about with chef during that time. Most of the time they provide the template because it's way easier and they're not gonna usually go above and beyond here, okay? So for their staffing and production schedule, they have a narrative here. Sometimes they'll have a narrative. They also should include what they provided to to you guys on day of production, essentially fire times, what everybody was responsible for. So they do need, obviously, the descriptions here of each role, but then they need to include that document, that Excel document, which appears it's here. So if you guys want to make sure this is complete, their descriptions, and then just verify their production schedule looks fine, then you can grade that section as well, okay? The rest of it I will take care of. So I'll take care of food safety and sanitation and recipes. Chef, you're going to do, as a reminder, purchase order, costing. Carmen and Julia, if you guys, because you're going to be reading the narratives, you will grade on grammar and spelling, please. If you note errors, just grade accordingly here, 1 or less. They get a 5 or 4 or 5. If there's more than 1, then it goes down accordingly, okay? Their marketing, this is just their JPEG. This should be pretty straightforward. If they did it, great. They get all points. If it was kind of halfway done or they didn't do it at all, then you can grade accordingly. The final summary is helpful. You guys will, if you could read this for us and grade just based on their grammar. I don't I'm not harsh when grading the summary of the project because this is really the feedback of how well they think they did, some things that they think could be done better in the future, things that went well. So honestly, as long as they complete the summary and it's done decently, you can give them all 10 points. If you find that there's some really interesting comments, something that we should implement in the future, please flag it, let me know, send me an email or note it in the comments here that it's something that we should pay attention to. Honestly, we have made changes to the project based on feedback we've gotten in these final summaries. Sometimes they have some really good ideas of things we should do. So just let me know if you come across something that you think is noteworthy. And that's really it. So in summary, Julia and Carmen, you guys will grade your specific lab summaries. So Carmen, you're going to have all of Wednesday. Julia, you will have the rest. And you guys are going to tackle service and meal type, menu development, menu, just making sure it's there and accounted for and complete, making sure consultation with chef is there and complete, staff and production schedule, there's some descriptions, and then they included that Excel spreadsheet. I will take care of food safety and sanitation and standardized recipes. Chef will do purchase order, food costing, and Julia and Carmen, you guys will take care of grammar, marketing, and summary of project. Because this isn't a nice rubric, it's pretty easy to grade. You just click on this section and it'll, if you notice, if I scroll over, it'll automatically populate the scores. If you have feedback for them, you are welcome to either leave a comment using that tool to leave a comment in, or you can then leave a comment in the rubric itself. I don't care either way, as long as we leave them some sort of feedback as to why points were taken off is helpful, okay? Because it reduces the amount of questions that we get after scores are posted, okay? So if you have any questions, let me know, but hopefully this was helpful, and there you go.